All right, what's going on, everybody? I am definitely going to make this a thing. I did it in the last episode where I started the podcast with a, what are these things called? I'm drawing a blank here. Fuck. Dun dun dun. Pre-roll. That's it. Sorry for the delay. So question of the day today. I'm going to start doing this. It's going to be a thing. Question of the day today is: how often, or do you even, pay attention to your posture throughout the day? Obviously, this question is going to make more sense after you go through the episode, but I'm curious. If you want, just think about it. Or reach out to me and let's have a conversation, because I love this shit. Enjoy the show, guys. What's going on, world? Welcome back to another episode of the Plants and PRs podcast. A podcast to help you move better, feel better, and in the long run, look a hell of a lot better. My name is Tyler Egan. I'm a certified personal trainer, and today I want to talk about something that, a lot of people know about, but they don't want to discuss, or they think they understand, but they really don't. One thing I've been noticing is the more I learn about the human body and whatnot, the more I read books from physical therapists and stuff, I'm noticing that a lot of people don't understand how complex human movement really is, and how you should move optimally, more functionally, the way you're supposed to move, the way you're supposed to feel. A lot of people just don't understand it. I have family members who have low back problems, and they're like, don't worry, you'll get it one day, it's old age, all this. And it's like, no, it's because you've been moving wrong your entire life. And probably not exercising. That's generally how these things happen. A lot of people don't exercise. They don't, even when they do exercise, they don't move properly. And it leads to a lot of issues. Just getting to exercise is half of the battle. But the one thing I want to bring more light to is just moving well and moving properly. And that doesn't just start when you enter the gym or when you begin your workout, however you're working out right now. It begins from the moment you start moving in the morning, from the time you sit down in a chair and how you hold yourself up while you're sitting. If you let yourself cave over all day, slouch over, shoulders internally rotated, back elongated in a very bad way, you're just going to cause so many issues down the road. Because the problem is, a lot of people will sit in pretty much a compromised position for your body throughout the day, and that carries over into the gym, when you sleep, the way you do everything, really. It really does. I heard a quote once, and it said, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And that was more about what you do to be successful. But the same quote applies to the way we move. If you sit down at a desk for 8 hours, that's what you do for a living. It is what it is. But if you don't get yourself out of those compromised positions, get your shoulders back and down, make sure your trunk, your glutes are engaged at least slightly to help hold you up. When you're walking, make sure you're walking properly, not slouched over like you're still at your desk. That's the problem. We slouch at desks all day. We get up, and then we start walking the same way. Which leads me to two things. This episode, if you haven't been able to tell already, it's actually going towards more of about posture, not just functionally moving and moving optimally, but also mindfulness, because mindfulness and posture go hand in hand. Now, what is mindfulness? Well, I guess I have my computer here. Let's look it up. Mindfulness. I want to see the definition they give, and then I'll tell you what kind of comes to my head after I read this. So, no, I just want a definition, people. I'm surprised. There we go. The first few things are psychology-related things, which makes sense. The first definition on Webster says the quality or state of being mindful, and the second definition says the practice let me restart that. The practice of maintaining a non-judgmental state of heightened or complete awareness of one's thoughts, emotions, or experiences on a moment-to-moment basis. Wow, I actually really like that definition of it. I was expecting it to just be as vague as the quality or state of being mindful. I hate when they put definitions like that in the dictionary. But so I think that's actually a really good definition of it. That's exactly what I would think. The practice of maintaining a non-judgmental state of heightened or complete awareness of one's thoughts, emotions, or experiences on a moment-to-moment basis. And it's extremely difficult in today's day and age. We are so hooked on our phones and computers and social media and all these negative things that we are never actually mindful. We're not mindful of our thoughts and emotions. You know, the last 6 months, I talk about it all the time just because it's been so life-changing to me. Last 6 months, I've spent, because of COVID, the lockdowns, I've been living on my own, and it's been incredible for me to go through this. I've actually been able to understand myself better because I've had nobody else to talk to, no one else to spend time with but myself. So it forced me to understand myself better. And it's gone a long way when it comes to being mindful. Being mindful throughout the day also applies to just holding yourself upright when you're sitting at a desk or walking around or whatever your job is or whatever you're doing throughout the day. Being mindful, being present in the moment is so vital to maintaining good posture throughout the day. It's not something your body's just going to do. People forget there's a thing called gravity that is constantly, and it never goes away, constantly fighting us. And our body, because of the way we're positioning ourselves, like through sitting, for example, is being pulled down in a way it shouldn't be. When we get pulled down, when we're sitting down at our desk, we have our hips flexed in that 90-degree position, and then our shoulders rounded forward on a computer desk. The first two things I can think of that happen there, and there's a bunch of things happening. Let me just say that. A lot of things that I still don't understand, but a lot of things that I really also don't understand enough to talk about. But these two things I know for sure. You turn your glutes off by just sitting down. That hip flex position turns off your glute muscles because it turns on your hip flexors. And the glutes are the most powerful muscle in our body. If they are turned off when we're sitting down and we're spending 8 hours a day sitting down, what do you think is going to happen when you stand up? They're not going to work right. Pile that on top of the fact that people don't want to exercise. So if you got people who are sitting at desks all day and then they don't want to exercise later to start working these muscles out, more issues are going to occur. So that's the first thing that happens when you're sitting down, is your glutes are turned off because of your hips being flexed. The next huge thing is a lot of us, and I'm guilty of it, I am coming from a place of non-judgment on this one. You sit down at a desk to do some paperwork or whatever the case may be at work, and your shoulders just fall forward. Mine just did right now when mine were falling. I'm so fucking this up right now. My shoulders were actually in an internally rotated position. They were hunched over, and I had to just correct myself because I was saying it out loud. I had to be very mindful of it. You see how that kind of works? You got to be aware of what's going on to be able to correct your posture. And the problem is so many people are stuck in their head all damn day. The second thing that happens when you're sitting at a desk all day is, like I said, your shoulders are rounded forward. This puts your spine in a rounded position and really puts your shoulders in an awkward position because of the roundness. It basically takes your shoulder blades out of position, which is probably why I had such a bad scapular winging thing going on my left side for so long. If you actually want to see what was happening, I did a video on one of my favorite shoulder exercises on YouTube. It's a really awesome shoulder exercise. I also go into some of the mobility requirements for proper shoulder movement and all these things. So the YouTube video, I'll actually link it in the show notes if you want to check it out. It was the funkiest thing. I actually have timestamps on that video as well. The funkiest thing that was happening with my shoulder, though, it's weird when you see it happen. Or you can just look up scapular winging on YouTube. Craziest shit happens with the shoulder blade when they don't work right. Anyway, yeah, so like a lot of things happen at your shoulder and your low back. I mean, think about it. When you're rounded forward like that puts your your lower back on such a tremendous amount of stress because of the stretch that you're putting on it. And I don't know about you guys. I've dealt with my fair. I'm going to be 27 in a few weeks here. Excuse me. And I've dealt with my fair share of back problems already. I'm good. I'm done. I do not want to deal with that any longer. So I would rather be mindful throughout the day and keep my posture upright. I've been reading more, and the best apparently foot position for you guys. A little bonus takeaway here. Best foot position is actually to be able to what's the thing they're saying these days? Man spreading your legs out to really open up your hips and get your glutes a little bit activated while you're sitting down. I know someone might have some shit to say, but you know, I've been doing it more myself, and it works. It definitely works. The problem is wearing the right jeans so that it feels comfortable. So that's a thing. That is a thing. The reason, though, that maintaining proper posture throughout the day is so vital, is so important, is because these improper movements, these improper postures that we end up carrying throughout the day can carry over into the gym. So even if you're someone who has a very sedentary lifestyle and you sit at a desk frequently, you have these inactive glutes, these shoulders that are rounded forward, and you go to the gym to try to negate that, right? Even if you're I'm so sorry here, I'm totally fucking up what I want to say. If you constantly throughout the day are in these compromised positions, and then you go to the gym, there's a good chance you're going to carry it over there, just because you're not exposing your body to what it's supposed to properly feel like, what it's supposed to properly, like, how it's supposed to hold itself up, how you're supposed to hold it up. That's why mindfulness matters when it comes to posture. That's why, I mean, it matters for so much more than that. So much more than that, man. I don't know about you people. I don't like my emotions getting the best of me. And when I'm mindful, when I'm present throughout the day, they don't. But when all it takes sometimes is one thing, and I'm sure other people have been through it too, and it's all downhill from there. You get all emotional. Who knows what happens next, man? Who knows? Who knows? It can be a mess. So stay mindful. It helps a lot of ways, but your posture, to me, most importantly. You know, there's a thing about maintaining proper posture. Proper posture. You know, sometimes one of the things that doing the podcast has really made me realize is I don't always pronounce my words properly. And I like that it's exposed that part of the way I speak, because I want to be a better speaker. I want to be able to translate things to people better. I want to help educate people in the world of health and fitness. And fucking work emails, man. Go away, people. I still have like an hour. But it's really, I want to help educate people in the world of health and fitness. And, you know, understanding how to pronounce my words will go a very long way. Anyway, but these improper movement patterns, they really can carry over to the gym. For example, one of the things I see all the time, you know, I drive to and from work, I see people running around town, and I just see their knees collapsing in, and I'm like, oh, your ankles, your knees are going to be toast one day. Or they're running with their spine rounded forward, their shoulders slouched over, and I'm like, come on, man. I'm glad you're out. You're kicking ass. You're inspiring me right now, because I can tell you don't want to do it. But fuck, are you going to hurt yourself? And I can't not see it now. And it's a problem. That's why it's so important to maintain proper posture. There I go again. This is bad. That's why it's so important to maintain proper posture. Man, is that like a tongue twister for me or something? What the fuck? Proper posture. That's why it's so important to maintain the proper posture throughout the day, because it carries over to exercise. I see it in the gym as well. I mean, I haven't been to the gym in a while. Fucking Governor Murphy. But you see a guy deadlifting and his shoulders immediately collapse forward. He starts rounding his back to get the weight up, and it's like, come on, bro. And I see people doing lat pull downs. This one used to bother me so much. Just because, you know, when I see these things happening, it's like that person, all it takes is like the wrong amount of weight, the one wrong turn, and they're going to hurt themselves so bad. And the problem is you can't even approach a lot of these people. I tried to approach some of the younger members at the gym I worked at, and these kids did not want to hear it. I'm like, bro, you're going to hurt yourself. But the lat pull down, man, people will like pull it down with their shoulders completely protruding forward, and then they would almost like internally rotate, so like push their forearms down. And that is like a really, really compromised position for your shoulder, man. You can really hurt yourself. Gotta get getting the chills just thinking about it. But one of the examples that I have personally is, so I used to sit. I stand a lot at work. I used to stand a lot, almost all day, every day at work. I used to stand all day, every day, and I guess because my glutes were weak, I would slouch over to one side. I would hike my hips up to the one side, and now I do like everything that way. And it's such a bad habit to get myself out of. It's like my body's adapted. I say it all the time. The body is a master of compensation. It will do whatever it has to do to get you into that position if you're going to force it into it, you know? That's why it's so important to get down fundamental movements before you start lifting heavy, before you start messing around with like serious weights on the bar. It's so important. I wish I would have ingrained that in my own head before I got started. I wouldn't be in this position right now. I still remember, I think one of the things that really flared up the injury I have now is I was doing sumo squats. This was probably a year and a half ago. Man, does time fly. Holy shit. Like a year and a half ago, I was at the gym, and I decided to do sumo squats instead of conventional. Sumo deadlifts instead of conventional. I like to pull conventional more. It feels more comfortable for me. But I decided to do sumo squats. I want to get some more quad activation in there. So I loaded the weight up to weight I used to do. You know, I wasn't being mindful of my technique. I wasn't, going down the checklist, properly braced core. You got enough, tension in your body to lift this weight. I wasn't doing it. And I tweaked something in my back. And now that I think about it, it was my right QL muscle, which has been a nagging injury for me for I don't know how long now. It's been a nightmare. But that's why I talk about this so much. If people ever wonder why I talk about functional movements and moving properly, is because, I've had injuries in my knees, my ankles, my back, my shoulders, all over the place. Like every single joint you can think about, I've dealt with. Now, maybe not as severely as other people, but I've dealt with it. And it's like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. It sucks. It's stupid. And it can be prevented if we just, stay mindful throughout the day, maintain proper posture. There I go again. It's something about that proper posture. Maintaining proper posture throughout the day is so important, because it'll set you up for success in the gym, to not hurt yourself. Doing corrective exercises will help maintain that posture throughout the day. Well, it will help you understand how to recruit muscles properly. Building that mind-muscle connection to understand which muscles should be firing when you're doing certain movements. All of these little things go a very long way in the gym. They really do. And guys, I have never moved better myself. I really haven't. Another reason why I won't shut up about this. It shouldn't be about maxing out on your deadlift. It should be about moving well first and then achieving your goals. Because once you can move well, what goal can't you achieve? You can get down to the weight you want. You can lift the amount of weight that you want to get to, within reason. To think that one day I'll be able to deadlift 1,000 pounds, it's probably possible if I really, really wanted to, and I'm willing to put in 10 to 15 years, because it takes time. But I don't want that. If I can get like a 500-pound deadlift, I'll be cool with it. But I don't really care that much. Like, I want to lift heavy, but I don't want to kill myself. I'm in this for the long haul. I want my joints to survive. I actually want to be able to deadlift when I'm 80 years old. I do. A lot of people don't. A lot of people exercise because they view it as a chore. It's like, fuck that. Find out what you do enjoy and understand that you're doing this for the long haul. You're not doing it to torture yourself. You're doing it to invest in yourself. I don't understand that. Such a negative mindset around fitness. It is not a chore. You're not torturing yourself. You're not abusing yourself. Well, I guess in a way you kind of are. But it's an investment in your overall health. But hey, that's just me. If anybody out there listening is a negative person, or negative people, you live your life the best way you want. If that's how you want to live and just be miserable, good luck. I'm rooting for you. But I'm going to wrap the episode up there today, guys. Just remember to be mindful today. If you like this show, if you took anything from this episode, please leave a rate and review on iTunes. Subscribe. The episode I talked about filming a video for YouTube. Unfortunately, my computer, I think, is dying because I cannot get the video editing software to work well. So I'm gonna try another one, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm gonna try my best. If not, I'll just do it on my phone. So it will be out at some point. I just don't know when right now. So keep an eye out for that, and I will check you guys out in the next episode. Peace.